Wholeness. Welcome to Notes of Nara. This is Naja Rashida here. Welcome. I'm not sure how long I have on this video, so I will try to make this appropriate given that my phone isn't fully charged. So today's title, again, focuses on the breath and how can we practice detachment in a chaotic society, in a chaotic world. Um, that's something that it's a bit of a challenge for me because I'm all about not escaping the human experience, human emotions, human successes, human failures. I think to be completely detached from all things that is human introduces a space of, or it introduces us into the space of inhumanity. Where we become either we make ourselves less than or more than, right? We look down on others. And usually the case that what I've observed in my 36 years of living is that we tend to look down on other people. We will put ourselves on a pedestal, and we thus become the chosen one. Overall, us versus them, we fall victim to the illusion of separation. But then you may ask, well, Naja, what do you mean? I can follow you with the whole illusion of separation, but then you're asking us to be detached to the things that are happening around us that go beyond our control. And that's exactly what I'm asking. The only thing that you are 100%, 1,000% in control of is you. You are truly only responsible for the choices that you make. You are responsible for the consequences of those choices that you make. I'm in a situation where it's like things are happening that are outside of my control. And it's very frustrating because it's frustrating because I can understand where a lot of the intentions and, the storylines and the narratives, all where they come from, where they stem from. And usually it's just wounded ego and limitation. And again, the illusion of separation. When people practice and feed the illusion of separation, they look down on other people and then they justify their wrongdoings as right. No matter who it hurts, no matter who it damages, who it blocks, what becomes stagnant, it doesn't matter because they can justify their wrongdoing. So, to breathe through all of this, to continue to be in flow in the space of stagnation is what I find challenging for myself right now. And it's empowering, but at the same time, not knowing how the chips will fall is scary. And I've been in many, many, many different circumstances in my life where I have been asked to surrender to all, but at the same time, prepare and be persistent and prepare. And so that's all one can do. It's almost like back in 2020 when the world, they came out with the disease, and which I believe in some form was a huge fabrication to manipulate and to control and to experiment on the masses. But I digress. What do I know? I'm not a mad scientist. However, I do believe that detachment is, I guess, maybe a form of non-duality, a non-dualistic approach. There is no evil or good, there is no black or white. It's two sides of the same coin kind of mindset. And I guess, I find that if you're taking full accountability of the consequences of the choices that you make, you alone, things will unfold as they may. And that's it. you know in the societal decay that I see, because you can see it in the children. Watch your children very closely, and if you're one of these individuals, if you happen to be an actual human being that's leaving comments, because I do read the comments and sometimes I question if it's even a human response at all. I give a benefit of a doubt because, this is an international platform where people from all over the world communicate with each other, and thus I speak English and you may speak a completely different language, and so you try your best just, to be fluent. Use what fluency you have to communicate with me, but I'm at this point when I'm reading some of the comments, it doesn't it's questionable. There's a lot of AI, there's a lot of bots, and so I don't get too hung up on comments and anymore. I never really have, to be quite honest. So whoever and however this reaches you, may it find you well, may it find you whole, may it find you healthy. And I hope to God you're organic and not synthetic. I don't know. It's outside of my control. I can't control who this reaches. But yes, to practice detachment through breath, through meditation, and through observation is difficult. But regardless, I feel like, this frame of mind wouldn't have come into my life had I not been strong enough to perceive it anyway. I would have just been caught up like everybody else in my emotions, just like with the elections with Trump or Harris, or even all the way back to Hillary Clinton when that was a really big thing. And, it doesn't truly... I can't say that none of the things that are happening outside of my own personal internal reality doesn't affect me. Of course it does. But again, when you're practicing non-attachment, and you can easily manipulate the energy. When you over-attach yourself to things through over-identification, through your emotional feelings, your emotions, energy and motion, you then become possessed by them. You become possessed by your feelings. You become possessed by your emotions, and thus they dictate how you make your choices. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in a space and a place in your life that you're having to find contentment because you're not all that happy with the consequences that you have, co-created. So that's kind of where I'm at. I felt pulled to this place because there's some things I need to learn. And yes, I am a practitioner of manifestation or manifesting. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's the devil's work. I'm not conjuring any spirits. I'm not conjuring any entities or gods or anything like that. If you know, and if you've put in the time to study how the law of manifestation works, then you would know what I mean. Otherwise, you're going to go by hearsay. You're going to go by what's in one of the holy books, that it's the devil's work. People truly believe that. But I'm a person that likes to, feel and think from a sovereign, autonomous place. Some may call that pure ego. Others may call that, authentic. Who knows? I don't care. But again, how do we make sense of it? How do we breathe through all of this? And I just told you, through non-attachment. How do you practice non-attachment? Ask yourself this: can you control the outcome? Can you control the situation that you know is bigger than yourself? Yes? Go at it. No? Take a step back. That's how you practice non-attachment. It's simple, easier said than done. Easier said than done. Okay? Especially with human relationships. But if you're facing a corporate entity, anything now, I used to think that service industries were all about service. And at my age of 36 years, no, it's not. It's all corporate. They all follow a very, hierarchical system. You have the CEO, executive director, you have the supervisor, you have the managers, and you have the little worker bees at the bottom. You have to understand how that works. You have to understand the social dynamic of how that works. Human psychology 101, ego. You have to understand these things in order for you to fully practice non-attachment. Because if you don't understand the hierarchical societal system that's in place in each industry, in this corporate industry, you're going to get screwed over. You're going to get effed in the butt. And I hate to say and be that visceral, but that's what I literally am seeing right before my eyes. On a micro level and on a macro level, that is what I'm seeing. all of it. There is nowhere to hide. There are some videos that are posted online of, oh, the country you should move to get away from it all, or the safe zone. There is no safe zone. There's no sky daddy or earth mommy that's just gonna bubble up from the ground or part through the clouds in the sky to come save you. You must save yourself from within by unlocking the God that's within yourself. We all have the answers to many of our problems, but the illusions of separation get in the way. Our egos get in the way. Trauma gets in the way. Wounded egos get in the way. Fear gets in the way. False evidence appearing real gets in the way. Non-attachment is not forcing yourself into becoming delusional either. You have to look at the hardcore truth of how things really are, and that can suck. It destroys any kind of hope sometimes. But you must look at the truth of what things are and how things are, the true nature of what's right in front of you. Through non-attachment, you can do this. Otherwise, you're going to glorify it. You're going to make, it's like this part of the whole ascension thing. I'm ascending. We're ascending. I'm the chosen one. No. As above, so below. As within, so without. What goes up must come down. So you're just setting yourself up for a really big fall. Or you're setting yourself up for a really big high. That's what it feels like. When you feel like you're ascending above all human limitations. A lot of the time we must face opposition to become what we are meant to be. We must face opposition to, be steadfast in our purpose, to not allow life to define our purpose. Do not allow, I just made a previous video on this, do not allow life to define your purpose in life. Well, Nadja, I don't have purpose. I don't have meaning. I don't give meaning to anything in my life. Do you? Do you? Be a character in someone else's story then. That's how I see it. Is it right? I don't know. It's right for me. I can't speak on what's right for you. But it's very easy to just become someone else's character in a story, or to become the author of your story, or co-author at least of your story. And be aware that the choices that you make put you in certain spots. You can say yay, you can say nay. Some people think we have no free will. And that's what the hell on earth is. We believe that we have all the power in the world, and to say yes and to say no. And that's just another illusion. That could be right too. There's so many different ways of thought and of thinking and of existing. You truly do have to just sit and connect with what's right within yourself. My right could be your wrong. Your wrong could be, wrong for me. Or your wrong could be your right for me. Sorry. Your wrong could be a right for me. So, it's, I had to go in and write a whole paper. Give you a little insight. So I just spent about an hour and a half going through all of this. An article that was written by another group of grad students, I'm assuming, and on classroom inclusion. Yay. A lot of it's redundant in the article, but whatever. It won't be too hard to write. I'm used to it now. When you first get back into school and education, whatever you're pursuing, it takes a little bit to get back in the swing of things. But that's where I'm at. How to practice non-attachment in a chaotic world. You see, a world. Etymology. World. So yeah, if you're human, put human in your comments. If you're gonna leave me a comment, can you just say, hey, I'm human, by the way? That way I know. Because at this point, I don't know anymore. I don't know if I'm just uploading stuff and, you know, um, I'm communicating with AI. I have no clue. I have no fucking clue at this point. And it's weird. It's just a weird, weird vibe. And I'm like, you know, with my reservations of uploading my art and my music, and where I'm like, I don't feel like I need to do that anymore. Like, I don't feel like I need to put myself out there. If people hear me through word of mouth or by actually seeing me perform somewhere, great. Awesome. Perfect. But to be part of something that's so authentic and try to show and display my authenticity through a synthetic platform that could take that and run away with it and make it into something else. There's something raw and true about live music. Anyway. So yeah, I mean it. Like, if you're gonna leave a comment, put, hey, I breathe fresh air. You know, hey, I'm an actual human being, because I'm doubting some of these comments. Or I'm just like, wow, insightful stuff, but it's, I don't know, little red flags are popping up sometimes. Otherwise, I just don't take, I'm starting not to take the digital world very seriously, and people make tons of money off of it, out of it. Anywho, life is what you make it. Define your life. But in an ever growing, chaotic world, we all need to be sure that we can breathe through the flow of what really is. Breathe through the flow of our truth. And bring harm to none. That's it. I'm going to take my nap, and then I'm going to start this paper. I had a nice breakfast, though. I went out to eat, and it was nice. Big breakfast. Like, truly handmade meal. It was good. All right. See ya.